Aujourd'hui, je vais parler de why in a game like Elden Ring, I totally don't mind dying over and over to the same few boss encounters. XenPuck here. They say write what you know about, and in the last few months, I think I'm still in love with Elden Ring. I mean, I think it's getting to the point where wifey is like, when are you gonna finish this game? I didn't have the heart to tell her about the existence of new game pluses. Oh boy. She should know I love those, because I did literally name this channel after this type of gaming experience, after all. Anyway, today I want to address one of the few main gripes, right, people have about Elden Ring, which is that it's too hard and some bosses are just impossible. Now, because I am a scrub, I'm not going to give callous advice like, get good, because that's a really dumb statement, right? That's like telling poor people to get rich or letting them have cake, okay? But I can talk about the why part of why I don't mind dying, and I die a lot in this game, okay? To be honest, I die a lot from platforming and exploration as well, right? But in Elden Ring, I've died to a handful of bosses for days at a time. I was told by a more seasoned Soulsborne player friend of mine that at least it was only days and not weeks or months. So now I feel slightly better about how crappy I am as a gamer. Kidding. I know I am still bad. The thing is, somehow Elden Ring still feels fun despite the grinder that it's putting me in. So let's get into that, right? Oh, and comment, like, and subscribe and all that social media nonsense. Or whatever, really, okay? I'll be great, not regardless. So, reason number one is the memorable boss design. I mean, honestly, if I'm gonna get killed over and over by the same bosses, no less, it's much easier to bear when the guy or gal doing the beatdown just looks incredibly epic, right, doesn't it? I'll give two examples that I personally have had the most problem with. First is that infamous lady boss, she of the winged helmet, okay? I mean, I don't want to use any names in case some people haven't played the game yet, but this lady boss, for me, is the definition of a badass, okay? She looks cool, she moves around like a freaking ninja, and she hits so hard. I mean, to this day, I'm pretty sure I only beat her through sheer luck, because after my probably 150th attempt, she didn't use her multi-long-range attack flurry thing like more than twice. By the way, that move alone hits like 10 times, and my character mostly couldn't survive more than 2 stray hits out of that string of 10 hits. Yeah. And the other example is who I'll call the last dragon, or at least I think he's the last dragon boss of the game. I'm not actually totally sure since I'm near the end but haven't finished the game yet, right? This guy is not only a dragon, but a teleporting dragon, thus negating the usual dragon weakness of being a giant target that just kind of sits there, okay? I mean, don't get me wrong, sometimes he does just sit there as well, and get smacked by us tiny humans on his hind foot, like most dragons. But then there are moments in the fight where he's like zooming around the arena like a bloody mist traveling at speeds that my eyes can barely follow, while explosions of red lightning strike all around me. I mean, often when I die when the screen is filled with such beauty that I can't even be mad, and actually wish the game would reload my whole "you died" part a little slower, just so I can spend a few more seconds looking at this beautiful carnage. Oh yeah, I kid you not. Okay. Now, reason number two, it's the scope of the challenge, as in how varied these deadly foes' movesets really are. I mean, as most fights in a good game would go, you're supposed to figure out the boss's move pattern and just adjust accordingly, right? Easier said than done. Obviously, I'm an old dude now, so my reflexes are just crappier than the average gamer. I know that for sure. The thing about Elden Ring bosses is that the best of them have really a great number of tricks up their sleeves, right? I'd say easily 7 to 10 moves that vary up the timing and hitboxes of the bosses themselves, right? It just seems like the perfect amount to confound the average to crappy player like myself, at least. Okay, I can't just look out for the move that our last dragon boss would like to do the most, for instance, right? Because he could do 2 other things that easily counter my counter to his most common move. Oh, and the boss behavior changes depending on the range you engage them in, right? Thus encouraging people to try different tactics. I mean, the reality is that any boss with a static set of moves will eventually get figured out, right? Even by a scrub like me. But the level of complexity from the boss's end presented is at the level where it takes me hours to get used to like each move and days to get used to the combination of all their moves. Now, what I love about this type of design is how satisfying it may be to acclimate, right? It's basically like the same kind of satisfaction like learning a real world skill through practice, like continued practice that will yield real concrete results. Even though I am still dying, like a lot, like I said, haven't even finished the last dragon, but I've gotten so very close, like one more move and he would have died close, right? And then having to ruminate on what slight adjustments I could have made, or hoping for a little bit more luck on my next run, it really just digs into that part of me that loves winning, right? Good God, I love this game, okay? And all right, number 3, finally, I want to mention the part of the game that we have the most control over, which is a fantastic amount of variety of approaches we can take towards these fearsome boss encounters. I mean, my anecdotal example is just, I play mage primarily and literally had to try dual curve sword, I had to try a single great sword, I had to try like 5 different types of summons on the lady with the wing helm boss. Because I was stuck on her for like about 2 days, right? For the life of me as a mage, I could not work around how quickly she could dance around our projectiles, right? Plus, because she heals on weapon swing contact, my usual let the boss be distracted by my tanky summon while I snipe away routine just wasn't working. She was healing almost too fast while decimating even the tankiest of my summons, right? I mention my own troubles because this boss made me rethink how I got my damage in completely, okay? And the funny thing is, after I beat her, I saw a much better mage player than me work around the fact that this lady boss, she instantly reacts to most long-range spells, right? But this mage exploited her, slow walking approach speed by using invisibility spells that basically does what it says, right? They cannot be seen and therefore won't prompt any enemy reaction. I recall facepalming myself so hard as to why I didn't think of that. Well, I can tell you why, okay? It's because I tried out all the spells that did big damage because this boss hit so hard and fast and I was afraid of getting into any sort of battle of attrition, right? So much so that I forgot that sometimes slow and steady can win the race, right? The idea that I could just chip away at even this secret awesome boss from range little by little just didn't seem possible. It certainly wasn't when she was dodging 90% of my projectiles and instantly counterattacking 50% of the time, right? But I guess if she never reacts to my invisible projectiles, thus won't rapidly counterattack, I'd probably have an easier time keeping the distance between us, right? I just love how even within a specific build like mages, such a varied type of approach exists, right? It's a big wow for me, right? Now, my apologies if my rant today seems a bit rushed. Obviously, it's because I'm aching to get back to that last dragon, right? Just need a little tiny bit more luck to whittle him down. It's gonna happen today. I can feel it, okay? Or tomorrow, possibly? Heyo, and I haven't even gotten to the fact that these awesome, painful bosses will drop some part of their movesets and sometimes entire armor sets when you do finally vanquish them, right? Thus giving you the option to cosplay as those bosses that kick your own butt, right? I love that idea as well. I'm really not spec to pretend like I'm a giant dragon that spews laser beams, right? But the idea that I could play a dragon build like that, in the next game, New Game Plus, that's a huge appeal, right? I'll probably get to it at some point. Maybe New Game Plus 3 to 5. Hope wifey doesn't make it this far into the video. Cheers. I'll approach it.